So today I'm going to be doing a book haul for you. I have quite a few books that I've acquired over the past couple of weeks, mainly because we will be going on holiday next month, and so I wanted to get a few books to take with me. There's quite a few sort of different genres, but I've really quite been heavily focused on sort of crime, thriller, that sort of thing lately, so that features heavily. But without further ado, let's get started. I'll just briefly talk about two books. I have just filmed a review on them, so I won't talk about these too much because also I've read them already, and that is A Simple Favour by Darcy Bell. It's sort of one of those crime thrillers, and then this is Things a Bright Girl Can Do by Sally Nichols, and this is about suffragettes and the women's movement during World War I, and it also has a gay relationship in it. And yeah, I've done a review on both those. Spoiler, I gave them 5 out of 5 stars, both of them. So if that's not already up, stay tuned for that. If not, I will link it down below. So let's get started with the other books. So I am part of a couple of Facebook communities where you can sell and trade books. I find it's not overly great if you do want to sell books, but I have been trading a couple of books, and I do have another one coming in the post. Let me just see what that one is. That one's by Leanne Moriarty, I believe. Something about a psychiatrist, I want to say. So that will probably come in the next couple of days or so. But the other books I did, I swapped. It was a signed Sophie Helyn book for these 3 books. So I thought that was a pretty good deal because I wasn't going to keep that Sophie Helyn book, and I'm slowly trying to grow out my collection of these ones, and that is Agatha Christie's books. So these came in like a 3 bound. They are in pretty good condition. I mean, you can tell that they've been read, but I'm not too bothered about that. So these are, it says, it's like a little bound up copy, but it says it's Poirot's first case, and it comes with The Mysterious Affair at Styles, Peril at End House, and 1-2 Buckle My Shoe. So all 3 of these I don't have. I have a very large growing collection of Agatha Christie books up there. Poirot is probably my favourite sort of works that she's done, more so than sort of her standalones and the Marple ones. But yes, so I was really pleased to get those, and I'll probably take at least one of those on holiday with me. The next book, I got quite a few books as part of the 2 for £7 at Tesco's. I find that's quite a good place if you're like looking to go if you're looking to go spare of the moment, like, and you actually want to look at books in person. Tesco's a good place to go because they often have, well, I mean, they always have this deal on, and there's usually quite a wide range of books you can choose from. So this is Girl Zero, and I hadn't heard anything about it. It's by A.A. Hand? I'm not sure how you say that. And this book is about a detective who comes face to face with the cold body of his beloved niece. And he's taken off the case, and it's all about sort of that aspect of finding out who murdered his niece. So again, another sort of gripping thriller. The next one is Artemis, and this is by Andy Weir. I have read The Martian by Andy Weir and didn't like it that much. I didn't rate it that highly, but I thought I'd give this one a go, seeing as it's another book sort of set in space. And this is about a city that is called Artemis and is actually on the moon. And it's about a girl who lives in a poor area of Artemis, and she starts smuggling contraband onto the moon. And I just thought it was really interesting to read a book about a city that was on the moon. So I got that one, and I probably got that off Amazon, I would have thought. The next one is a big hunk of a book, and I knew it was going to be a big book just from the author, but it really sort of drew me in, and I think if I do take this on holiday, I will probably be able to read it all. And this is 11/22/63 by Stephen King, and from what I gather, it is about a boy, or not boy, a man who's an English teacher, and it says on the back, it sets out an insane and insanely possible mission to prevent the Kennedy assassination, hence the picture on the front. And it says, leaving behind a world of computers and mobile phones, he goes back to a time of big American cars and diners, of Lindy hopping, the sound of Elvis, and the taste of root beer. So basically he goes back in some sort of time machine and finds this man who is determined to stop the Kennedy assassination. I just thought it was a really cool concept. So, like I said, it's a big book. It's over 700 pages. I've not read a big book like this in ages. And the writing, I've never read Stephen King, so this would be interesting. And I'm just unsure whether to take it on holiday because it is such a big book, and if I'm not like invested in it, then it's sort of a waste of space to take with me. So we'll see on that one. The next book again is another sort of thriller, and this is I Let You Go by Claire McIntosh, and this is about a girl or a woman who decides to sort of upsticks her life and start new and moves to a remote cottage in Wales, but obviously her fears and her past events come to haunt her and she can't sort of move on from that. So interesting to see sort of what this sort of surrounds, because it doesn't really give you too much about what has happened to her, what her dark secrets are, just the fact that she moves to a remote place in Wales. So I thought that'd be an interesting one to read. The next one is The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton, and it does say this is a BBC TV programme now, not that I've watched it. And this is very unusual for me to pick up because it is set back in the 1600s, and I'm not one to read anything past the 20th century, yeah. So anything 1900 on, I usually read, but again, depends where it's set, that sort of thing. This was an unusual one for me to pick up, but the blurb on the back was quite interesting. It's about an 18-year-old girl who arrives at a grand house in Amsterdam to begin a new life as a wife of a wealthy merchant. He presents her with an extraordinary wedding gift, a cabinet-sized replica of their home. It is furnished by an elusive miniaturist whose tiny creations ring eerily true. She uncovers the secrets of her new household and the dangers they face. So yeah, not too sure what it's about, but it did sound intriguing, so I thought I'd pick it up. The next one is All Our Wrong Todays by Ellen Mastai. Set in a world where everything that they imagined in the 50s about the future is real. So all about those flying cars and just all that technology that doesn't exist but they thought would in the 50s is true, and it obviously has some sort of love story in it. So I'm not overly sure, but that whole sort of set in a world where I'm fascinated by like the 1950s era and what they thought the future would look like. I find that really interesting. So that was sort of the main reason I picked up this book, but I don't actually know much about the plotline. So we'll see. And then I have two books left. The first one is Lies by T.M. Logan. Again, another psychological thriller. This is about an ordinary, happily married man until one split decision throws his life into crisis. When Joe sees his wife having a confrontation with family friend Ben, it's the first hint that she's been lying to him about everything. And when he steps in to protect her, a harmless shove knocks Ben to the ground and he's not moving. So, obviously potentially a murder involved, possibly an affair or something along those lines. But a lot of lies, obviously, and secrets. So, again, another interesting one. And then the last book is something completely different, and Darren actually picked this out for me, and I was like, yeah, I'll take that along with me. And this is by Chris Hadfield, who is an astronaut, and it's An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth, Life Lessons from Space. And Chris Hadfield, again, is one of those I would like to say one of the more famous ones at the moment, along with Tim Peake and Mike Massimino. As far as I'm concerned, it's one of the three that I've sort of heard more about. So I'm not quite sure what it tells, whether it's just sort of his story leading up to him being in space, but I'm always interested in this sort of book. And again, it's got pictures from his life, and pictures of him while he's in space and the training. So definitely a book that I'll be interested to read and probably will take on holiday with me. So those are all the books that I've bought over the past couple of weeks. I have a ton of reading to do, but like I said, we're going on holiday to Mexico next month, so I'll have a lot of time to read, and I always fly through books. I think last time we went to Mexico, I read maybe like 7 or 8 books, so definitely a lot, but I just love to read out there. It's just perfect. So I hope you enjoyed this book haul. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.